Hello everyone, my name is SHARON Macias, and the California law that I chose to analyze is the California Assembly Bill 1955. AB 1955, also known as the Support Academic Futures and Educators for Today's Youth, or known as the Safety Act, was first proposed by Assembly Member Chris Ward, a Democrat from San Diego. He proposed this act in retaliation or reaction for recent school policies that were being passed in California to out LGBTQ plus students to their parents. In red pockets of California, which California is mostly a blue state, there was policies being passed through school districts where it forced for teachers to disclose to parents whether their child chose to go by a different gender or by different pronouns, was one of the main focuses within this bill. On July 15, 2024, the California Governor Gavin Newsom signed into law what we know now as AB 1955, where he did disclose saying that this law was not in order to leave parents out of their child's life, but more to give control to the children, for them to have the conversation, to choose who they wish to share their life and their information with, and to prohibit teachers and schools from overstepping and giving the power to the students, and for them to give the full consent whether who they wanted their parents to find out or not. This year, on January 1st, 2025, the bill went into effect, which is a law now, banning all schools in California from outing their students, even to the point that it will get to people to be lying to the teachers to be lying to parents about the students, whether they choose to go under different pronouns or different identities. When the law was first passed, and at the time when the bill was first being proposed, there was a lot of positive feedback, especially during the difficult timings that the LGBT plus communities were facing. At the time, one of the biggest concerns and the reason for this law being made was to give the student the power and a little less stressed through them deciding to have their coming out process. By doing this, they wanted to create, and it creates a safe space for students, how I stated before, for them to choose when they want to come out, who they want to come out to, and for them to have that power. As when it came to educators, a lot of educators did agree with the fact that they would be there to support their students to create a safe space, especially with students when the LGBT plus community that struggle a lot with their mental health. And they believe this will kind of also stop harassment, stop bullying, and create a more safe environment for all students and make them feel more included. One of the biggest cons for the new law is the fact that parents' rights are being violated, especially when it comes to children and their minors, especially younger children around elementary school. Parents argue the fact that they're very confused, and by teachers encouraging and their behaviors, and like, let's just say a child wants to go from a female wants to go to use the pronouns he, or even to the point that they want to start using a different name in school. Parents believe that this would create more of a mental distress, especially more confusion for children of younger ages. And one of the biggest things is the fact that if a parent of any child will go to the school officials and ask about their child, upfront the parents will be denied any of the information since the student has to give the consent in order to show any information regarding them. And this way was not okay with a lot of parents. When it comes to my final thoughts on the pros and cons and which side I feel has a little bit stronger argument or a little more concrete evidence, I would like to state and disclose the fact that as of currently now in February 2025, since the law was passed and signed on July 15, 2024, the state of California and Governor Newsom and certain school districts are being sued by parents and conservative groups and different types of groups because of this law. As of now, the law is still working its way through the legal system as courts try to figure out which way to rule with this law. In my personal opinion, I believe when it comes to who has a stronger argument, I believe the pros are a little bit stronger. Just for the fact that this is just a law that's already in place before it was even proposed, for the fact that the California Education Code does include a lot of provisions that protects transgenders and non-binary students from discrimination. Especially when it comes to state law, some requirements schools allows for participations of genders in like sports, youth facility, and to use whatever bathroom they choose to under their chosen identity or what they identify as. And also school districts have implemented way before this law was passed protections all the way to the district level. One of the biggest districts that's influenced to support the California Code of Law, and the biggest districts that are behind it is the San Francisco School District, Los Angeles School District, and Sacramento School District, which are the ones that have paved the way to use these more inclusive policies for students, and to the point that they have an ability to change the school records. And now that the Gender Identity Act, or AB 1955, also known as the Safety Act, has now played a significant role on it too, I just feel this law is just a little more add-on to already existing policies in the California school district that have been in place already for years. So this is why I feel that students and parents, as I do believe that parents should have a more of an open conversation with their kids, and parents should know what goes on in their school's kids' life, especially at school. As of now, the law is in place. And we're just waiting to hear back from the legal actions of it. And like I did state before, I believe that the pros have a little more stronger standing, just for the fact that they're just going off already with policies that were already within the California education codes. And these were just policies that were already in place before the law was passed. And this law was pushed a little more for the fact because of certain red pockets within the state of California that literally did the opposite of those policies and chose not to respect the policies that were already in place. Thank you, and hopefully I explained it right. Thank you. Have a good night. Last and finally, here are my references for anybody interested in reading a little more into the law. Thank you.